Vanessa for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Maisie Berger requesting permission to practice pursuant to Michigan Code 8.120.
Code?
Michigan Rule.
Court rule.
Court Rule 8.120 under the supervision of Mr. Jay Bellinger, representing my client, Nathaniel Gray.
Permission to practice is granted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, what are we doing?
Your Honor, we are requesting a 2-week adjournment so that we may consider continue going over discovery.
Probable cause conference in this matter will be adjourned July 25th, 2024.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we address bond?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, my client is seeking a lower bond if possible. He has 3 kids and another on the way. My client would like to continue working if possible so that he may continue to provide for his family. He has the support of his family. He is a church-going man, and he would just like to continue being supported by his family. He is willing to do an alcohol tether if need be so that he may continue to work while being monitored by the courts. I did want to note that he is being held on a probation violation in the 22nd, but
What's his bond in that case?
I waived it until I finished with this to figure out what I was going through with this.
He's only been arraigned in that matter.
Pardon?
He's only been arraigned in that matter.
Okay, so what's his bond in that case?
I have no bond right now. I'll go Tuesday.
So it's no bond.
Right now, yes, sir.
Okay. So how did he come back into custody on this matter? Because he failed to appear back in March of 2024.
I got stopped.
You got stopped, so he didn't turn himself in?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Bond reduction denied. Bond will continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
To get Mr. Howard to complete the terms of his probation. At this time, probation is recommending 93 days in jail, credit for 8 days served, to serve the balance, waive remaining terms, accept the financial obligations, and discharge him from probation without improvement.
Sparing.
I did speak with Mr. Howard yesterday in the jail. We did discuss the violation of probation. As for explanation of why he did not complete these things, Mr. Howard has been homeless, I guess, since the last VOP. He was evicted from his home. He and his family were living in a motel, his fiance and 3 children. He also has a child on the way that's due in December. He's just now getting back on his feet. He was able to secure housing through Hawk. He's also been utilizing their social services through SOS. He even told me he just recently got a cell phone, and the family got new numbers because they've been struggling so hard. He's also looking at getting back to work after finding housing and stabilizing that area of his life at a plant for Fraser.
Yeah. And so 6 SOS is helping me get some security.
Okay. He did indicate SOS is attempting to help get him Social Security as well. This is a non-violent crime. There is restitution that Mr. Howard said he's going to pay once he gets back to work. I'd ask the court to discharge him from probation, instruct him to pay that money that's owing, and let him keep working on getting stabilized, he and his family.
Mr. Howard, anything you want to say, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. I just want to say that it's been a really rough, hard time. Me and my family has been homeless. We've been in and out of motels. Even myself, I've had to sleep in the woods myself to make sure my family was good. We're SOS, they were in an Alpha house, and there wasn't enough room for me. So I had to do what I had to do, was sleep out there where they were, safe to where they were. But it's been a long, rough journey. We finally are getting back on track. We finally got housed. Everything is starting to go up and move forward. I'm trying to get my license back. Everything is just starting to go on now. And I'm just asking for a little bit of lenience so this can keep going forward and I can do the right thing. And I will pay everything that I owe.
Okay, and I appreciate everything that's been said, but throughout this thing since 2020, I kept giving you a chance to just get things right. I get people running into difficulties. If at any point you had let probation know the difficulties, then we would have probably done something else or tried to do that, tried to work with you on this. But now we come down to here. How'd you end up in custody?
I was with a friend that got pulled over.
Yeah.
He had
That's what I'm saying. You've got time to do that, but you don't have time to just come down.
It was actually work. I was actually working. So that's
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying you had time to do that, and all it was going to take was for you just to stop into probation at any given point in time.
I was trying everything I could. We didn't have phones. We lost our phones. I tried everything I could to do. I have babies. I got a 3-year-old.
Mr. Howard, if you took the same time or even a lot less time that it took for you to contact Hawk and SOS to just let probation know what was going on with you, this goes differently.
I understand that, yeah. Is there any way that I could be placed on maybe a tether till I can get everything paid off or something other route besides
I'm out of
jail?
time.
So I could be with my kids and my family?
I'm out of time. I
I'm
tried to
gonna work
work.
this
I
time.
tried, Mr. Howard. I tried
one more
to.
chance.
Mr. Howard, I've given you 2. I've tried it, and then you disappear. If at any point you had stepped in here, and anybody knows how I work, if at any point you had stepped in here and said, "Here's where I am, Judge," even if you don't go to probation, and just say, "Here's where I am. Can I get another shot to do this?" I probably don't have a problem with that. But you did none of that. And quite frankly, had you not been stopped and picked up, you wouldn't be here now. Even.
I know that. Yeah.
Sentence of the court, 93 days in jail, given credit for 8 served. Defendant is to serve the balance. I'll waive all other remaining terms except his financial obligations, discharge him from probation. Thank you.
Teresa Claire on behalf of probation. Your Honor, Mr. Olsen is before the court for a violation of probation hearing. Mr. Olsen was sentenced in this case December 13, 2023. Mr. Olsen has done nothing with his probation. He failed to report after sentencing. He owes a balance of $1,525. He's made no payments. He failed to sign and return his probation order, failed to complete substance abuse treatment, the assessment and or treatment, including a mental health assessment and or treatment. He failed to report to community corrections for his random weekly drug testing. And he has also failed to report to this court on prior violation of probation hearings in April, May, and in June. He would then submit a bench warrant recall request that again he would not appear. Given all of that, probation is asking that the court sentence him to 93 days in jail, credit for 25 days served, to serve the balance, complete the in-jail Dawn Farm program, waive remaining terms, accept his financial obligations, and discharge him from probation without improvement.
I did speak with Mr. Olsen regarding the VOP. I think Mr. Olsen's issue has been that he has tried to complete some of the terms, but has not fully been able to get there. For example, when I was reading through what he hasn't done, he said, well, I did call probation, but he didn't show up in person. When I read that he didn't do his treatment, he said, well, I did call Bear River, but I wasn't able to get up there. He has
Air River comes and gets you, but go ahead.
or hasn't been able to complete the intake or whatever happened.
Yeah.
I think his limitations come from he told me he's not working. He doesn't have any transportation. He doesn't have a car. He doesn't have a license. He's been living with his mother and taking care of his pregnant fiance. He's been trying to keep his head above water. I will tell the court
How did he get picked up?
His mother.
My mother was going out of country to deliver a package. She's a package carrier. I had to wake her up to find out when she'll be there because I was planning on going to work, and the police department, the state police picked me up.
I think he's been trying to keep his head above water, trying to care for his pregnant partner, trying to get work, trying to help support his mother. I do know he has the support of her. As the court may know, she's called probation, she's called the prosecutor's office, she's called my office, she's called the court, trying to get someone to help Mr. Olsen. I do think if you were in touch with Ms. Pilara, he would be successful in probation, but that connection hasn't been made, obviously. I think Mr. Olsen is someone who needs a little bit more support to complete the terms. I mean, he expressed a lot of confusion to me about what he needed to do and what was going on. I think he's been struggling with, like I said, completing the things he needs to do without someone kind of ushering him through it. He does have more time on probation. I'd ask the court to give him a chance to complete the terms that he needs to complete.
Anything you want to say, sir?
I apologize for anything I've done wrong. And
April 10th of 2024, I had to issue a bench warrant because you didn't show up at your violation of probation hearing. You submitted a recall. We reset it. May. Same thing. Didn't show up. And issued a recall. Usually we wouldn't recall it. We recalled it. We reset it in June. June 12th comes around. What happens? You don't show up. I would agree with everything Ms. Perrine says in terms of, yeah, you might need help getting through some of this. Maybe. I don't know. But it's impossible for us to determine because anytime that we're setting a hearing for you, you're not here.
yes, sir. That's why I was apologizing, sir. Your Honor.
Sent to the court, 93 days in jail, credit 25, defendant to serve the balance. He's to complete the Dawn Farm in jail program. I'll waive remaining terms, accept his financial obligation, discharge him from probation without improvement. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm not really seeing, never saw my probation officer and they told me 10 days.
What?
They told me 10 days the last time I spoke to them.
They told you 10 days for what?
I think that he's referring to
met the
prior.
probation officer.
Quan Cowen.
Good morning, Your Honor. Rise up and represent the people. First Assistant Public Defender Queen Anderson with on behalf of Mr. Cowen, who's approaching.
Mr. Allen, who is that at Ann's window? Is that somebody from the PD? Attorney? Okay, not properly attired, but okay, I understand. Go ahead,
Did you need me to do something, Judge? Oh,
unless you have a jacket and clothing for someone. Go ahead.
you don't have had a chance to speak. I'm sorry, Mr. Cowen, can you put your name on the record? Say your name.
Quan Cowen. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, I've spoken with the prosecutor about this. It's my understanding that the investigation is still ongoing on this and that there may be additional charges. Based on that, I'm asking to adjourn the probable cause conference for that purpose. I would defer to the prosecutor as to the length of time required. And then I'd ask for the opportunity to address his bond.
There was an additional forensic interview done on Monday, so if that should be submitted, and I would anticipate having that charge next week. So
The chart, that, got it. So 2 weeks out. All right. So probable cause conference, July 25th, 2024, 9 a.m. On briefly.
Mr. Bond, this is the only matter that's holding Mr. Cowen in custody. Case to me, he does not have any prior criminal history. He's concerned about his housing. He's unsure whether or not rent has been paid, or not he still has a home at this point. He's retired. We did go over the bond conditions of the no contact and no ghost. He would be able to abide by that. I've spoken with his sister and confirmed that he can reside with her in Detroit while this matter is pending. Mr. Cowen does suffer from some medical issues as well, kidney stones. He also has an inflamed colon. And those services at the jail, and he is receiving Motrin, but that's really not helping with the pain. He's asking for the court to reduce the bond. Currently, his bond, I believe, is $100,000. That's a bond that he's not able to post. He has been in since June 26th. He does have the support of his family, which I believe some of his family members are here in the courtroom in support of him. We understand that the court's unlikely to give him a personal bond, but he's asking if the court will reduce the bond or at least allow a 10% privilege on the bond that's currently set.
Response.
And Your Honor, we would ask that the bond continue until the time of preliminary exam. There are 8 minor children living at this residence. The victim, in this case, in addition to another minor child, have been interviewed. And at the time that CPS came to the residence, the allegations, when CPS was called out to the residence for the allegations of sexual assault, the defendant had nowhere to go. And he was left in the residence to be, only have supervised visit with these 8 minor children. The victim in this particular charge case is 9 years old, and the allegations are that he rubbed her so hard in her face while she was in the shower that he scratched her and she was bleeding. And so I believe he is a danger, not only to the community, but to these children. The 12-year-old, one of the 12-year-old boys that was interviewed said that he watched pornography on a regular basis with his dad, observed his dad having a 14-year-old sister. So I think the allegations are very serious, and we would ask that the bond continue until the time of the preliminary exam when that is set.
And the new or the forensic evaluation, does that involve someone different than
A different victim, another minor child.
another minor child other than the one in this one?
Your
All
Honor,
right.
may I address part of that argument?
Sure.
Your Honor, the prosecutor stated that at the time he didn't have somewhere to go. As I stated to the court, he does now have somewhere where he can go and stay with family. It's also my understanding that the complainant in this case was taken to the hospital and that the allegations were not substantiated. I'm expecting the prosecutor will be providing me with copies of medical records to show that.
In which,
In this case, the original
in
case.
this case,
Yes.
then I have potentially either a new case or other charges coming regarding another child.
For understanding.
And
That's-
we just ask, Your Honor, that bond conditions contain this, but indicate that there should be no third-party contact.
That it indicates that.
Okay.
So, but based upon that there are other charges coming, I get, Ms. Anderson, what you're saying, but the court at this time is going to deny your motion for bond reduction. Bond in this case will continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court does call the case People versus